Oh, there I am. Yeah, video. So anyway, yeah, dospook has made another video evading the word imposition, or trying to find some way to convolute the meaning of the word, so that now having a child is something that just happens to the parents. It's not something that happens to the child, which is just, silly, stupid, insane, preposterous. Anyway, couldn't find my path there for a minute. Yeah, it's all wet. Damn, rained again. It's okay. Summer kind of rain. Hit and run. But it did knock the power out. Right in the middle. I'm having trouble with one of my hard drives, and power failures aren't the kind of thing you want in the middle of that mess, and whatever. Just difficult day. Anyway, so yeah, I don't even want to waste my time with these word games. That's all they are. Let's pretend we don't know what the word imposition means. I mean, it's just silly. But let's go over it real quick. There's this thing we do, which is called doing. We do things. Yeah. And some of the things we do have implications on others. And when those implications are potentially negative, carry a risk to them, or some sort of, potential bad, or burdenous, and we're knowledgeable of that risk, usually. Intent has something to do with it. We qualify that doing as an imposing. Okay, we kind of just use that word for the doing. To make a distinction between the times when you're being generous, like you're giving somebody a gift, and when you're being a fucking cunt and a taker and an asshole. So we have words that describe these different kinds of doing. Where we do something that's reckless, we have a word for reckless, you see, so we can describe the event and give it some sort of meaning. It's not just everything's not the same kind of do. Yeah, some of the do is dutier than the other do. So anyway, so that's why the word imposition exists. It exists to describe a category of doing that has these elements. And so the more negative, onerous the potential, the more likely that doing will earn the word imposing. The more the intent, and the more negative the potential consequences. So intention and negativity are the two components. Now clearly there's a negative component to procreation, a hugely negative potential possibility, and it just has to be acknowledged. It's like with nuclear power, as I've used that analogy, which is a perfectly good analogy. There's a low risk to a meltdown, but if it melts down, it's just so frickin' bad. And with life, a million people kill themselves, and for those million that do, there's millions who wish they could have, or did, so it's just a lot of very bad stuff happens to people, nasty stuff. And it happens because people do create. They procreate. They make a decision by volition and say, I'm going to play God. I'm going to decide for a new consciousness that it will exist in the world I think is satisfactory. I think it's okay. I think it'll say thank you. And I will ignore the negative imposition risk. I'll pretend it just doesn't exist, is essentially the argument. That's all. Instead of just fessing up and just saying, I'm a selfish asshole, I'm going to do what I want and I don't care, they pretend the word imposition doesn't exist. They pretend the act of doing didn't happen. Somehow they were stabbed by birth. Like them giving birth, them creating life is somehow life imposing on them. it's such a silly argument that it certainly degrades my opinion of dospook's intellectual character. I mean, he's not a stupid guy, but this is a stupid argument, and it looks incredibly desperate. So I don't know where that comes from. I don't know why he's resorting to such a desperate evasion. Why he just doesn't have the balls to man up and say, look, I understand the risk, and I simply don't give a fuck. Fuck you if you don't like the gift I gave you. Why don't you just fess up? Why don't you just fess up and say, yes, you gave somebody a fucking rent-a-wreck, that's leaking oil and blew up in the driveway and burned their house down, and you just don't give a fuck. Okay, because you couldn't care less. You're going to spend $29.95 and no more on this gifting bullshit. You're not going to clean up the world that exists. You're not going to do a fucking thing but say, I have rights. My penis says so. The DNA molecule told me so. Me wanty. Fuck Yui. This is just such a pile of shit. The most aggressive do-act possible. I will create life, and you won't take responsibility. You'll pretend that something imposed it on you. Yeah, I couldn't help but make her pregnant. There was no way to prevent it. Yeah, there's no way I could stop it. Yeah, sorry. No sale times 400. Horse people in the woods. I better hurry up. How you doing? So, we'll move along. So anyway, till next time and such. I have to go running anyway. This doesn't deserve much of an argument.